Today I'm going to show you how to build a necromancer with shadow build that does a ton of damage. So smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and let's get straight into the video. First of all, let's take a look at our basic skills, and in this build we have gone for Reap, and we've only put one skill point into this. Reason being is because we're after the upgrades, and the upgrades that we've gone for is Enhanced Reap. Obviously we have to take this one, but it's a very good one indeed. It increases your attack speed for 3 seconds if you kill an enemy with Reap. Then we've got Acolyte's Reap, which forms a corpse underneath the enemy if you hit them, and this can happen every 5 seconds. So as you guys know, we're going to go down the line of corpse explosion, so this is something that's a must for your build. Now let's take a look at our core skills, and we have gone for Unliving Energy maxed up. I don't really know why, to be fair. I could probably move these points somewhere else, but there's not really anywhere else on this board that I want to use, so I've gone full max out on this. And then we have gone for Imperfectly Balanced, and this is the one that you guys want to make sure that you have got maxed out. Reason being, it deals 15% more damage to your enemies, but it does cost 9% more essence for your core skills. But the 15% damage increase is massive, so I heavily suggest that you guys get this maxed out. Then moving on to our core skill ability, we have gone for Blight. So Blight is something that is very, very good, and it's the core base of this build, along with Corpse Explosion, but this is something that's very, very good indeed. So we have got this fully maxed out to 5, and you can see I have got it 3 levels above that, and that's because my legendaries is very, very good, and I highly suggest that you guys get it equipped. So then Enhanced Blight. Blight slows enemies by 25%. Definitely a good thing when you're surrounded. And then you got Paranormal Blight. So Blight has a 30% chance to immobilize enemies for 1.5 seconds on impact. So this can be something that's very, very good when you're surrounded by elites and mobs. They go hand in hand together, and they can help you out massively, especially if you are playing solo. So heavily suggest that this is the perk route that you go. Let's head over to our next skill set, and we have gone for Corpse Explosion. So we have got this fully maxed out. We have got it to skill 5, and then we have used our legendary to boost up just 1. I am looking for a legendary that is going to boost up a little bit higher, but as of right now, this does the job. And then we have gone for the upgrade of Enhanced Corpse Explosion, basically looking for that radius boost. So obviously take out a ton more enemies, and it can do a ton of more damage with this next upgrade. So Blighted Corpse Explosion, obviously this turns this attack into a shadow damage attack, and it lasts over 6 seconds, and it causes a ton of damage. So heavily suggest that you guys go this route for this build, because it is something that is a must. Moving over to our next abilities, we got Grim Harvest. So Grim Harvest is going to consuming a corpse generates 6 essence, and we've got this fully maxed out. We are trying to generate as much essence as we can, and if you guys are doing corpse explosions, this is going to boost up your essence as you do that. So then we have got Fuel by Death. You deal 12% increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse. So all of this obviously goes hand in hand with each other, and this works out very, very well, obviously increasing the damage, and you are trying to get that DPS as high as possible. Moving over to our next one, and we have gone for Death's Embrace. Close enemies take 6% more damage from you and deal 9% less damage to you. Really, really good when you are surrounded by a ton of people and you're just trying to explode as many corpses as you can. So really good, and I heavily suggest that you do this one. So then Death's Reach, you don't have to do this because, like I said, you tend to be very close quarters. That's why I've gone full with that one. You tend to be close quarters, so you could take this off completely if you wanted to, but I suggest that you just do it just in case, because you do a few different damage outputs and use different spells in different areas, and this can help you massively. Then we are going to go over to our next skill set, and we've gone for Corpse Tendrils. So this is something that pulls your enemies in, and it does a ton of damage, and with the upgrades you can make them vulnerable. So you can see Enhanced Corpse Tendrils here. Enemies who are in range of Corpse Tendrils are slowed by 50% before being pulled. Slowing them down, very, very good. Then we've also got Plagued Corpse. So enemies damaged by Corpse Tendrils are made vulnerable for 3 seconds, and this is going to help the rest of your build, and you can do a ton more damage to your enemies just by having this skill equipped. Then moving over, we have gone for Reaper's Pursuit. So damaging enemies with darkness skills, increase your movement speed by 15% for 3 seconds. Very good because necros are very slow. Then we've gone for Gloom. So obviously we want to increase that shadow damage as much as we can. So with this, they can take 6% increased shadow damage from you and your minions, and this can stack up to 3 times. Another one that is a must, and you need to fully max it out. Then we've gone Crippling Darkness. Darkness skills have up to 50% chance to stun your enemies. Another good one, you want to slow down these enemies as much as you can. Because you are a Necro, you can't bounce around as much as the other different types of classes can. So this is going to be something that's going to help you massively. Then Terror. So Darkness deals 9% bonus damage to enemies who are slowed, 9% bonus damage to enemies who are stunned or immobilized. These bonuses stack and apply to shadow damage dealt by your minions. So yet again, this is massive for yourself. When you're doing that damage output, when you're mixing them all together and doing combos, you can help yourself massively by making sure that this whole section right here is fully leveled up. Now, going over to the ultimate skills, really for a long time I didn't run anything on a ultimate, but I got a legendary that obviously increases my ultimate skill damage output, so I have equipped Bone Storm just because it does a lot of damage and it's obviously reduces the damage to yourself. So Prime Bone Storm, your damage reduction is increased by 15% while Bone Storm is active. And this is the other reason. So your critical strike chance is increased by 20% while Bone Storm is activated. And if you've got vulnerable, you've got them slowed, you've got all your darkness things all stacking up, this is something that's going to help you massively when it comes to them big bosses to do a ton of damage. And it's just going to stack on top of that. So heavily suggest that you go that route. But really, I didn't use it for a long time, so you could use these points somewhere else. It's entirely up to you. So then let's go over to our passives on this. Standalone, increased damage reduction by 6%, reduced by 2% for each active minion. So because I've only got basically no minions being used at all, I did use the golem for a long time, but yet again I haven't used them for a long time now. I've only made it one, and I've only put one into this just because I want this next part. Sacrificing both skeletal warriors and skeletal mages increases their sacrifice bonuses by 60%. Yet again, I'm eyeing up this damage output and trying to make my necro as strong as I possibly can, and this is the way that you guys are going to do it, by doing it solo. Then we have gone for Shadow Blight. Shadow damage inflicts enemies with Shadow Blight for 2 seconds. You and your minions deal 10% bonus damage to your enemies with Shadow Blight. Every 10th time an enemy receives shadow damage from you or your minions while they're affected by Shadow Blight, they take an additional 1000 blah 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 damage. And this is something that can also help you massively. And yet again, there's no other way that I'd really would rather go if I was personally you. This is a no-brainer. So take this one. It's a really, really good key passive to have. Now let's take a look at our Book of the Dead. So we have gone for sacrificing the skeletal warriors, and we have made the sacrifice on the Reapers. So you can see right here, you deal 18% increased shadow damage, but you no longer can raise skeletal warriors. I'm completely fine with that. As long as I'm doing more shadow damage, I'm not too fussed. Moving over to our mages, we have sacrificed our cold mages because you deal 18% increased damage to vulnerable enemies, but you can no longer raise skeletal mages. Yet again, I'm extremely happy with that as long as I get that damage buff. Moving over to our golems, and you can deal 37% increased critical strike damage, but you lose the ability to summon a golem. Yet again, I'm really, really happy with that. All the other ones, there's not really anything that I would like, so that's the reason why I've gone that way. You guys could go for the attack speed, but I really think that that damage input and that increase is something that you should aim for. Then going over to our paragons, really, I have started to build out in this way, and as of this current moment, it feels good, but I don't know if I should be building it any other way. Let me know down below, because I would really like to know what am I doing wrong. I feel powerful enough. I don't feel like I'm going in the wrong direction, but this is the way I have gone. So I've started making my way up, and I have took these damage boosts, and then I have gone and taken a left up here and started taking all of these damage boosts, and I've also got in my glyph socket, I have got Gravekeeper. So you deal 2% increased damage up to 12% for every close corpse. And yet again, because we are using a corpse explosion type of build with Shadow Blight and everything like that, this works perfect. And you can see I've got a 7% damage boost, 3% intelligence, but I need to get that dexterity increase to make sure that I can get some bigger boosts. So I might have to do some messing around with that, but at this current point it's doing a ton of damage. And then I've obviously gone for this rare node, and I've made my way up this way because this increases damage. And for a solo necro, damage output can be very, very hard. So this is the way I have gone for my build. Then I've moved my way up and I've gone on to using, which one is this one called now? I feel like it's the Wraith one. Anyway, whichever one skill tree that requires boosting all your shadow damage, I have gone for that Paragon board because I have come on the hunt for this legendary node here. Your shadow damage over time affects 5% chance to deal 50% bonus each time they deal damage. This chance increased by 1% and the bonus damage is increased by 2.5% for every for each 50 willpower you have. And currently I do have a fair bit of willpower, so the boost is quite mighty. So that's the reason why I'm going for that one. But there's nothing on this side of the tree that I really want, to be honest. So I don't really know which way to take it next. I don't know whether to go up here just because it does a bit of shadow damage and shadow resistance, but this is the one that looks tastiest for me. So I have then got started off on the left side of this board and I've made my way up this way, and I've got 8% increased damage to elites, and I've got 5% increased damage for my shadow damage over time to enemies. But there is this node that I want to collect next, and this is probably going to be the way I go next. But as you can see, as you start going up in here, it's got the resistance ones again, so I don't know really where to take it afterwards. Once I get into that area and I come to that bridge, I'll probably look for a next one. But let me know what you guys have been doing with your Paragons. It's something that I'm obviously enjoy playing around with, but I do find it a bit annoying when you got to deconstruct it all one by one. And like I've said, like, this is nice and clear, but I don't like how it takes you one way for all your health and stuff like that. I want to focus mainly on my damage output, so I don't know what way to go. Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching.